Hello and welcome to my C++ tutorial on file streams. In this tutorial, I will show you how you can use C++ to create a file and then write data to that file. So let's get started with our includes. So we are going to include string for this one, and we also are going to include vector. And then let me just add a space there so it's on par with everything else. So yeah, I'll explain. Oh, I already included string. Um, that we, sorry, not a string. We need to include fstream. That's the whole point of this. We have to include fstream and vector. I'll explain why we're using vector in a little bit. So the first thing that we want to do once those includes are done, you have to open up where where the file is going to be saved to is it's going to be saved to wherever your project is. And in my case, my project is saved here. So it's going to be this is going to be your main, this is what you're going to see when you open up your file. Then you want to go to file test, or whatever you named your project, and then all your data will be here, including your main CPP file. And this is where your test file is going to be written to. And as you see, I already have an example here. I'm just going to delete that. So, how do we create a file? Well, what we have to do is we have to call an output file stream. And this is just like any other variable, like declaring a string or an int. And we're just going to call this my file. So the of means output file stream. Okay, so then what we can actually put before here is we can cout name of file. Then we can string file name, and then we will cin file name. So then we can create the file at whatever the user specifies the file name to be. So this will just create the file. So if I run this here, name of file, test.txt, and then I close out of that, you'll see test.txt was created in my projects, but there's nothing in here. And actually no, I'll put that at the end of something. So the next thing we need is an if statement. And so we can say if my file dot is open, so if it is open, if it successfully opens, but if it doesn't successfully open, then we want to see error. Instead of cout, we can do a C error. It's like a special type of write line. C error file could not open. End line. But hopefully we won't run into that. So what happens if it does open? This is going to be the main thing here. Well, if it is open, then we want them to be able to type in more than one word. But unfortunately, when typing into a file, it only goes one word at a time. So that's why we need to include vectors, because we're going to create a vector of string that the user inputs. So how do we do that? Well, we can start off by calling a vector of string. We'll just call this user's data. Oh, whoops, I capitalized string. Been working with VB today. So vector string user data. So now that that's created, we can cout enter how many words you like to write to file. So we need them to enter how many words that they'll want to enter. That's not really practical, but it's what we have to do for this instance. So we'll int word count, and then we'll cin word count. So now that that's there, we can go ahead and create our for loop, and we can say for int I equal to 0 while I is less than word count I plus plus. So then we could say cout enter word I plus 1, and then or just like that. So this will say, and we just add the +1 because remember it starts at 0, but the user wouldn't know that. So that it would say enter word 0, and they'd be like, what? So yeah, enter word, and then we can go ahead and say string u input, and then we will see in u input here. So they will enter this word, and then once they enter the word, we want to user data dot push back with whatever they entered here. And then we also user data dot pushback. We also want to add a space after every word so it looks like a sentence. It's not just one big clump of words. Okay, so this will add, oops, sorry about that. This will add data to our array. This will populate our array with whatever, I mean not array, our vector. So that's good, but then how do we write it to the file? Well, once that's all there, we can do another for statement, or for loop, and we can say for an unsigned int I equal to 0. Actually, will that run into problems because I already... No, it shouldn't. Then while I is less than user data dot size I plus plus. So what do we want to do while I is less than user data? So what we have to do is we can then just, how we write to it is we could just say my file, and then you want to write to it like that, and then we'll say user data I. So this will write to the file, and then just so that we know it's working, let me just see out like data user data I. Whoops. Written successfully. So yeah, then we'll just end L there, and we can actually just put two things here so it puts those in quotations. So yeah, okay, this should work, so I'm hoping this will work. So let me just see. Okay, so name a file. Let's name this test.txt. How many words? Let's just enter 2. Enter word 1, hello. Second word, world. Data hello entered. And then, actually, hold on a second. Let's make it, we have to put at the end of our if statement here, we have to put my file dot close, or else we'll have to exit the command prompt before. It just makes more sense to do this. So make sure you have this at the end. So now let's run this. And so name a file, I'll name it again, test.txt. When I paused the video, I just deleted the old file. So how many would you like to enter? 2. Enter word 1. Hello, second word, world. Okay, so now if we go in here, test was created, and our data was not added. Wow, that's fun. Hold on a second. Oh, I see what my problem is. I accidentally closed my file too early. I have to close my file after you do this loop. So make sure you move myFile.close to after this. So this should work. Hopefully, name a file, do test.txt. How many would you like to enter? 2. Hello, then world. So it says it was successfully entered. So let's go to our file test. So our test was created here. And okay, hello world was successfully written to our test here. So yeah, that is basically how you can use file streams to enter as many words as you want to a text file. And yeah. Okay, so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. All the source code will be down in the description, and see you next time. Bye.